Hello, today we're going to be talking about the cardiovascular system or the circulatory system. If you remember from the animal kingdom notes, our human circulatory system is a closed circulatory system, meaning the blood flows through blood vessels. So the circulatory system is going to contain the heart, the blood vessels, and those are going to be arteries, veins, capillaries, and then the blood that flows through that. Let's first talk about the heart. The heart is cone-shaped and it's found inside of your chest, right between, the lungs, behind the sternum. Everyone make a fist. The fist, a clenched fist, is what your heart is, as far as the size in your body. When you look at pictures of the heart, please notice that I know this is the left side of your picture, but it is actually the right side of the heart. Okay. When we talk about the structures of the heart, there is a protective structure that will surround the heart, and that is called the pericardium, and that is also there for protection. We do have two atriums. We have a right atrium and we have a left atrium, and we have two ventricles, the right ventricle and the left ventricle. The atriums, okay, are going to be filling with blood when it returns to the heart. The ventricles are very strong and they will pump the blood out. Okay, so they have thicker walls, they're much more stronger, more muscular. Inside the heart, you do have walls or a partition called the septum that will help in preventing the mixing of oxygenated versus deoxygenated blood. We also have valves in the heart, and these valves are flaps or devices that are going to permit the flow of blood in one direction. So it kind of makes sure the blood does not flow backwards. The AV valves, or the atrioventricular valve, prevents the blood from flowing back into the atrium once it gets into the ventricle. Okay, so the right AV valve is called the tricuspid valve, where the left AV valve is called the bicuspid valve. And again, it's preventing the blood flow into the atrium. We also have valves that prevent flow of blood to go back into the ventricle once it goes into the arteries. The aortic semilunar valve, which is the one right here, prevents the blood from flowing back into the ventricle once it enters into the aorta. And then the pulmonary semilunar valve is the one that's right here, and this will prevent the blood from flowing back into the ventricle once it gets into the pulmonary artery. Okay, we do have arteries and we have veins. Okay, you can see here we have some veins listed. Veins are going to be bringing back the blood to the heart, where the arteries are going to pump it out. So A for away, it's pumping it out. There are smaller arteries that are called arterioles, and there are smaller veins that are called venules. And then the capillaries connect the two together. This is actually a picture of all the different blood vessels within a human. It is very vascular, very in-depth, very and it needs to be, because it needs to have the flow of blood to get the oxygen and the nutrients throughout our body. This is just showing you pictures. Again, arteries are bigger, arterioles are smaller, venules are smaller veins, and the capillaries kind of connects the two. And they're kind of almost microscopic network of the vascular system. Now, the flow of blood through the heart. Okay, we learned this when we talked about the animal kingdom, but just to review, okay, we start with the right atrium. It goes into the right ventricle. It will go to the lungs. It will go back into the left atrium, into the left ventricle, and then it will go to the body out through the aorta, and then will branch off. Okay. The cardiac cycle is pretty much your heart cycle. A complete heartbeat takes about 8 seconds, and it contains systole, which is a contraction, and diastole, which is the relaxation of the atrium and the ventricles. So pretty much systole occurs when the heart pumps the blood out of the ventricles, and the diastole occurs when the ventricles are filling up from the atrium. And it kind of makes a sound of the lub-dub sound. We will be doing our own cardiac cycles in class, and we'll also be taking our own pulse. And our pulse is pretty much our heart rate. And if we have time, we will try to do this EKG test for us. If you have any questions, please see me tomorrow. Thank you.